Greetings, geeks and nerds. I'm Lady Universe and white and nerdy, and happy Valentine's Day. I wish that I had actually had something, Valentine's or love related for this, but I already did something romantic for, you know, the month of love. Oh no, ready for Valentine's Day, with what the top 10 favorite movie couples. So here I'm talking about a superhero movie. Because nothing says that you love someone any more than by cherishing a superhero movie together. People do that, right? Anyways, I actually have gotten the chance, and a lot of people have said that this was one of the best Avengers movies, and I've gotten the chance to see a lot of the Avengers movies, more so in general this month as you'll this year, as you'll be seeing a lot more of them throughout this year. But I have finally gotten the chance to sit my ass down finally and watch the sequel to the original Avengers. Now, if people have seen my original Avengers review, you know I hated that movie with a vengeance with how they kind of handled the Avengers at the time. But with that all said and done, I actually sat my ass down and actually officially checked out the sequel to the Avengers Age of Ultron. This will be my review, retrospective, whatever you want to call it, upon Avengers Age of Ultron. So if you haven't seen Avengers Age of Ultron yet, but you clicked on this review, just be forewarned that there will be some spoilers. So again, if you have not seen Avengers Age of Ultron yet, but you're looking forward to this review, just be forewarned that yet again, that there will be some spoilers regarding this review, so be forewarned, spoilers. Now, I saw the original Avengers movie way back, I believe in 2023 or 2022 is when I officially seen the original Avengers movie. But I've always heard that the sequel, Age of Ultron, was better, but I've never officially tracked down a copy of Age of Ultron until I went to one of my thrift stores in town and finally was able to find Age of Ultron and only pay $1 for it. And yet, I'm very happy with that, as this is basically what the Avengers movie should have been. I'm not saying that it's the best Avengers movie by far, but in terms of what the original film had done, this is insanely how to do an Avengers movie, and especially in a great way. Like, I have nothing against Loki or them trying to copy Ultimate Avengers or the Ultimates, but they didn't copy the Ultimates in the best of ways. There is a reason why the Ultimate Avengers movie is one of still my favorite animated adaptation of the Avengers and favorite Avengers movie. It's because it was a great way to adapt the Avengers to a brand new era, which of course the original Joss Whedon one didn't do that quite well. And if you know the Joss Whedon Avengers, you know that it went through several rewrites before it officially came out. Basically, introducing characters, getting rid of characters, because originally the Avengers movie was supposed to introduce Ant-Man and Wasp, and then have them be led up into their own movie, and I'm kind of thankful that that didn't happen, as it was trying to be the most comic accurate movie at the time. Was it? Not so much, but it tried. But Age of Ultron introduces one of the Avengers' pretty much most well-known villain, being voiced by James Spader, who most people might remember from the TV show or series. Not only was he on The Office, but he also was on The Blacklist, which a lot of people probably more recognize him as. So, the Avengers Age of Ultron, basically, I remember hearing a lot of people when this came out saying that this was one of the best Avengers films that came out around the time. Do I agree with their sentiment, and do I think that this is one of the best Avengers movies that ever came out? Yes, but I think that needs some more explanation. So let's head to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, join the team of Avengers, and have the Avengers assemble against an evil robot that plans on taking over the world by getting rid of a bunch of people. There's a joke I could make about this, about a greedy overlord that's taking over the world, that's getting rid of people. Now, I can't think of a joke off the top of my head, because the biggest joke is already sitting inside of the White House right now. So let's dive into the Marvel Cinematic Universe and see how they can punch this evil giant robot and dismantle him to pieces. This is my review and retrospective upon Avengers Age of Ultron. This is the best way to kick off an Avengers movie. You just have them open up with kicking the asses of everyone and everything that stands in their way. This is perfection. But we know why the Avengers are here. They're looking after something and basically still tracking down Hydra agents after Hydra agent to try to get rid of basically all of them. This is where we are introduced to the Maximoff twins, the Scarlet Witch, and also Quicksilver, who first made her MCU debut with this movie before going on to other projects. Now, most X-Men fans out there are screaming and ranting at the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver never joined the Avengers. Yes, they did. Way back in the 60s. Stan Lee decided to try to change around the topic of the Avengers by having people leave the team and then rejoin the team. There is basically the new Avengers back in the 60s that mostly consists of Captain America, Hawkeye, the Scarlet Witch, and also Quicksilver. It was an idea that Stan Lee did play around with and actually was successful. While not the most well-known Avengers team, unlike these Avengers here, it still is one of the most unique styled Avengers. So for anybody that's going to come into this video as a huge X-Men fan and say that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch never joined the Avengers, yes they did. And they were reoccurring members of the Avengers. And it was the first time that we saw Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson, long before they went into doing Godzilla, where they played a married couple. And if you already know the history behind Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, a lot of comic book fans suddenly got chills going down their spine when I said that, because if you don't know the history of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, that is a topic that is not comfortable for me to talk about right here on YouTube. You can do your own research on that uncomfortable subject, because yes, it's exactly what you think it is. Remember what Umbrella Academy did? Same thing. And it's just as weird and as disgusting. But that's all I'm saying. But I thought it was a unique decision to actually introduce them. But unfortunately, aside from Elizabeth Olsen that went on to star in other films, and it's also more recently Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Aaron Taylor Johnson, unfortunately, as Quicksilver, never made a cameo as he came back as Kraven the Hunter for the Kraven the Hunter film. Originally was supposed to be Carl Urban and quickly was replaced with Aaron Taylor Johnson. Why? I have completely no idea. But this film does have one thing going for it that the other did not. It had the interaction between the Avengers, something that I wanted and was missing from the first film. As it was great to see all of them just basically interact with one another and just have fun with one another and become a family, which is something that was needed, especially in the first film. And also, I did enjoy the introduction of Ultron in this film. I thought they did a great job with the new origin for the big bad killer robot of the Avengers. And especially most like the Avengers, everybody gets pissed off at Tony for basically destroying the world, as he had one job and yet sometimes always screwed it up. But here's something I thought was an interesting idea. The Maximoff twins joining up forces with Ultron. Yeah, originally I thought that was kind of stupid. But much to my surprise, it honestly was pretty damn good and really damn decent at how they handled the Maximoffs joining Ultron. Because the reason why the Maximoffs hate the entire world is because of what they did to the country Sokovia. If you remember, or in the comic, Sokovia is mostly one of those countries in the Marvel Universe that just cannot stop basically being destroyed. Either Sokovia would be destroyed, or Magneto would have to save it, or somebody would have to save Sokovia in some way, as it's mostly a war-torn country in the Marvel Universe. So I actually like that, and we also get the origin behind Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Unfortunately, we don't get much more of a backstory for Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver until X-Men Apocalypse, where they actually did a very good job of incorporating just how Magneto basically was. he tried to find love. Unfortunately, everything comes after him and everything screwed him over. It's like, you think just being a Holocaust survivor, he's seen, the entire shit handed to him, but then life just keeps giving him a very bad hand dealt deck of cards. So I do feel bad for him, and I do like the inclusion of their origin, which is not rushed, and it doesn't feel like really this is the origin that they're going with, but it does actually make sense. And it also makes sense that they don't know who their father is until X-Men Days of Future Past, where that Quicksilver is watching TV with his Wanda Maximoff, and then they see their father on TV. Because he makes a joke in Days of Future Past where he says, my mom said something about my dad controlling metal, and I'm like, I see what you did there. Which, of course, it becomes kind of like a big epic battle between everybody, whether they decide whether the Avengers are actually a good thing or whether the Avengers are basically a bad thing upon the world. But as expected, yes, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch do actually join up with the Avengers, and we actually get the first MCU appearance of the Vision, and he is beautiful. And I can't lie, man, some of the cinematography moments and some of the great action sequences are absolutely the selling point of the movie, as they all look impressively awesome. And I sincerely mean it. Don't doubt Vision because Vision's a goofy character or anything. He is absolutely the selling point of this movie, and he is just short of amazing. And yes, just like in the comic books, the original Avengers team does split up. They think it's the best thing to do for them as they all moving on to bigger and better things in their lives. But yet, baby, we get the new Avengers team, and if you've seen Captain America Civil War, then you know for certain that this will be the new Avengers team that Cap will be a part of and will lead. And yes, they do tease Thanos at the end of this movie, just as they did in the original. It's kind of like a not good build up to be like, you want to see Thanos in the Marvel Cinematic Universe? You won't see him until 2018 or 17. I think it was 2018 when we got the appearance of Thanos, and it's like, all that build up and for what? Yeah, I have to review Infinity War and Endgame at some point on the channel, but baby steps. So, Avengers Age of Ultron, is it better than the original? Hell to the yes. It is a gorgeous film, and it is a great film. There are things teased in this film that we never get, like Hulk going on a rampage at destruction that led into World War Hulk and Planet Hulk. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. There is Marvel talking about doing a Planet Hulk and World War Hulk movie, but technically we got Planet Hulk with Thor Ragnarok, but it's not the same thing, unfortunately. It kind of is, but it's not what people wanted, unlike the amazing animated Planet Hulk movie, which was stellar, in my opinion, and just was a great film all in general. But the fact still remains that Avengers Age of Ultron absolutely is better than the original. And this should have been the original Avengers movie. Now I know that Joss Whedon was doing a great job at it, as he's not really a director as far as I know until the Avengers movie. Somebody can correct me on that if I'm wrong. But he was mostly known as a writer for sitcoms like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Roseanne, and then of course moving into his comic book career. I do love Josh Whedon, but I think that he should mostly stick to like TV shows and comic book writing more so than being a director. But here he does shine, especially as he does some amazing job with most of the cinematic shots and the great action sequences. He just did a wonderful job at that. Every single actor in this and actress is phenomenal in this, especially Jeremy Renner, who didn't get much showtime as Hawkeye. Here, you get all the Hawkeye that you could wish for. And I have to admit that, yes, I did like Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see much more of it as the guy moved on to other projects, and especially like a couple years after Age of Ultron, I believe, he and Elizabeth Olsen went on to do Godzilla 2014. Kind of cool that they went to work on, something else in general. But yes, I do, especially in Godzilla. These guys do have an awesome chemistry together as actors. That it was just great to see them interact with one another. Yes, they did went from playing a brother sister couple to an actual movie couple. But aside from that, they did do a wonderful job. Avengers Age of Ultron was a huge step up from the original and definitely sets its place in history, as it seems like it soared higher above the original film, and that's definitely a good thing. And James Spader as Ultron was amazing. There were some moments where his voice kind of threw me off just a little bit, but the more I rewatched the film, the more I began to love James Spader as Ultron, as he really was the biggest selling point of the movie, and definitely is worth watching. So if this film does soar higher, it definitely is something noteworthy of super. That's why my Funko Pop rating of Avengers Age of Ultron is a Superman. It soared higher than the original, it looked beautiful, it's wonderfully crafted, and just like the original Superman, it makes me smile every time that I see it. So Avengers Age of Ultron gets a Funko Pop rating of a Superman. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you be notified every single time I make an upload. And if you want to help and support the channel grow, the best way to do so is by liking this video, subscribing if you haven't already, and also feel free to share these videos around the web. And also, if you want to follow me for any more information or to see what I'm working on, or just chit chat with me, then you can do so by clicking the link to my Twitter right down in the description down below. And also, be sure to tell me what you think about Avengers Age of Ultron. Did you think it was, like I said, like it was a step up above the original Avengers movie? Do you think it's not quite what the original Avengers movie was? Or do you think that this is the worst Avengers movie out of the whole Avengers, I would say, series of movies? Let me know in the comment section down below, as I absolutely did love this film and adore it. And there's more Avengers movies for me to absolutely check out. I've already checked out Civil War, which I was not a big fan of, but I still have Endgame and Infinity War, which will come at the channel at some point. But not just yet, because next week is not only my 30th birthday, which, yeah, I'm still accepting that I'm turning 30. Still slowly accepting that. Um, but also, I'm doing the YouTube subscriber poll again, in which you guys will get to vote for what you want me to review. And I'm gonna have to do my best at giving you guys a good series of selections. So, when which, if you guys are wondering, they're probably already up for premiere, so you can be probably by the time I'm pre-recording this, so you can get excited for whatever one that interests you more. So thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in your voice. I believe in you to keep you on. And until next time, guys, and as always, take care.